Focus your mind to this bell sound and follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. So, dear Dhamma friends, before we start our meditation session, it is better to understand what we are going to do. When it comes to Buddhist meditation practice, there are mainly two mental cultures which we call Samatha and Vipassana. So the Samatha mental culture means tranquility meditation. It helps you to calm down your mind, relax your mind, and keep your mind in one point. So the Satori, Kevalya, Samadhi, this all has the purpose to keep your mind in one point. So that is one mental culture to develop our mind. And then it was before the Buddha even, this Samatha meditation techniques. But what is the Buddha introduced? The Vipassana meditation culture, Vipassana mental culture. So what is the Vipassana? V means deeply Passana, observing. So once you come to tranquility state, before the Buddha, they had no idea what to do, and they used to remain in that samadhi and believing or thinking that is the end of everything. But what is the Buddha introduced? After you achieve to samadhi, and Buddha introduced this vipassana to how to recognize this everything, and how how you can recognize how these things can come to as they are. And rather than observing things as it is, because when you observe in samadhi level, when you come to tranquility state, you're going to recognize things as it is. But that recognition doesn't mean you can end whatever the situation. So as example, any pain or the unhappiness, even your thoughts or even anything from outside, when you observe and if you recognize it as it is, what is the mechanism there, you can understand the meaning of it, and how you can understand how that things happen that way, because you recognize it as it is, that's it. But that is why in the vipassana, it take you to the bottom. And when you practice the vipassana, what is happening, once you come to samadhi, you recognize things as it is, and from there you go deeper and recognize how things come to be as they are. Once you have that understanding, going to bring the solution to all the questions, all the situations in day-to-day life, because you recognizing why it is happening that way. So that's why you have to practice this both. And so there are two kind of arguments in the world. So you practicing meditation, and this is public, and there are a lot of people join with us through online. So that's why I have to make it very clear. There are two arguments in the world. One is, some says to practice meditation, you don't need a teacher. You just can practice yourself. And some said, without a teacher, you cannot practice meditation. From ancient time, these arguments come. So this is how it is. If you are able to maintain your mind, relax your mind and calm your mind right away, and once you sit, if you can go to the tranquility state, and you can shut down the thought patterns and observe everything freely, you don't need anybody. It's like you newly born baby just jump into the car and start to drive through the freeway. It's good. You know, I wish that everybody have that ability. And maybe some can do that. Another thing is, there are some people, they need the help. They need some guidance. And how to do, they need to understand how this is happening and what kind of techniques that you can practice. So as teachers, what we can do, we can teach you the technique, or we can teach you the method how we used to practice. The very meaning of the Sangha is the following certain kind of teachings. Sasana. That is the very meaning of that. If the group of people follow certain teachings, it calls sasana. So we are the monks, that as monks, we follow the Buddha's teaching. So our responsibility is anusasana. Anusasana means that whatever the things we practice, we share it with others. So that's how this is go. So it is up to you. If without a teacher, if you can sit and come to tranquility state and practice yourself, and you can do it. But in case if you need help, maybe this information will help you. So now we know two mental cultures. And then the very first thing that you have to do, the whoever practice this meditation, we call yogi. The yoga itself means union. The union means your body, mind, that's everything you bring together, no separation. Oh, this is me, that is that, not like that. This everything you combine, especially the mind, thoughts, and the body, this everything that exists as you. So we call yogi. Oh, so whoever yogi practice meditation, and they need the kamatahana. So the kamatahana means they need certain kind of techniques to practice. That is the meaning of it. So once you have your kamatahana, it is person to person sometimes different. That everybody sometimes cannot practice the same meditation technique. It's same like, no, why it is happen like that way? Because people are different. Even in a family, sometimes when you make a meal, everybody not going to enjoy in the same way. Somebody asks something else maybe. So as parents, you experience that. Children like something else, maybe husband like different, wife like something else, parents like different things, so like that. So the kamatahana means whatever the meditation technique that you are comfortable, you go with it. But out of this, all the meditation techniques, There are many different meditation techniques. Mainly tranquilize your mind. There are 40 meditation techniques. And in Vipassana, there are 4 meditation techniques. And out of this all, there is a one meditation technique, it called Mahapurusha Bhavana. That is unique for everybody. Anybody can practice it. It's kind of like a all-in-one. So that is the meditation technique we practice called Anapanasati. If anybody go to online and you can find the sutta called Anapanasati Sutta. So contemplating inhalation, exhalation. This is the meditation can practice by anybody can develop this. So that is the kamatahana that we practice. So, and there, the very first thing that you have to do, remember, once you start your meditation, the very first thing you have to detach your thought pattern. You have to slow down your thought pattern. Why? Because the thoughts pattern, which we call the sanskar, mental formations, always related with whatever related with the past and take us in this journey. So first you have to slow down that current. You cannot shut down it. You have to slow down it. Another thing is you have to divert that current to wherever you want. So that is what we, in the beginning we do. So for that, now mind follows certain mental object inside you related with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. That all the mental object in your mind related with past. Just think yourself now. If you have something in your mind that maybe the mostly we think that when you think, that means you rewind your past experience. So observing something happen in the past, you cannot recognize this very moment. So then what we have to do, we have to detach or slow down our this thought pattern and get into the present moment. So for that, you need a very fresh new mental object. So that object we call in Pali nimitta. Nimitta means mental object. So as example, you can take the candle light and then you start to observe the candle light, and without moving your eyes and just focusing your mind to that. So then your nimitta become candlelight. Or maybe you observe the water. You go to, or maybe you keep a kind of like a bucket in front of you with the full of water, and then you looking at it and you observe the water. So then the nimitta means the water is the mental object. And some people sunrise, they observe the sunrise. So then their nimitta means their mental object sunrise. And some people observe the sensation. So their nimitta means sensation. Your nimitta means inhalation, a sensation of the inhalation, exhalation. So then while you practice meditation, always remember, harbor your thought. Wherever your mind go, that is the nature, bring it back again and again, and stay with the sensation. So that is nimitta. And this practice itself we call kamatahana. So your kamatahana means getting to the nimitta, that means getting to the sensation of the inhalation, exhalation. So kamatahana itself is like this, working place. That is the very simple meaning. So now your mind, maybe you went back for a vacation and now you thinking about it, or maybe what going to happen tomorrow. Then you thinking, maybe you watching news or TV or movie, or you thinking about something. So that's mean your mind somewhere else. The kamatana itself means your working place. Now your working place is your nimitta, is your sensation. So then you have to stay with the nimitta, the sensation, and just observe. And how are you going to observe in the beginning? Suddenly, maybe you cannot focus to the sensation. Why? Because it is very subtle. And there, you go to the deeper, in the beginning to the sensation, recognize to that, you separate, this is inhalation, this is exhalation. That is the very surface level you can recognize, inhalation, exhalation. And then when you observe that, now mind little by little stay with it. And then this is the beginning, this is the middle, this is the end. You observe entire continuation of the inhalation, exhalation. It's like observing the entire breath body. So whole process of the inhalation, exhalation, you recognize. In the third level, some inhalation become longer, shorter, heavy, soft, warm, cold. So you recognize in this. This everything just details. Remember that. Because once you close your eyes, maybe this thing's not going to happen that way. But little by little, if you are able to guide yourself and to stay focused and bring your mind to one pointness, that is the most important thing. And once you get into the tranquility state, little by little, the sensation going to become more familiar to you. And that familiar sensation, little by little, become more stronger, stronger. And it is called parikamma nimitta. Parikamma means now you recognizing it. Now you know the sensation is there. Because there are some people say, some students say, when they close their eyes, no sensation. But they know they are breathing, but they say no sensation. There are reasons for that. Sometimes mind become busy, the posture is not right, and maybe the environment. So there are like that reasons. So somehow the parikamma nimitta means now you recognize, oh, there is sensation. Maybe it disappear, but you saw it at least one time. And then little by little, when you keep practice, this is going to settle down. You stay with it, stay with it. It's like a wild horse in the beginning, becomes so wild, but little by little it calmed down. And it called patibhaga nimitta. Now you are stay with the sensation. And suddenly you can close your eyes, you can go to your mental object. And maybe you are somewhere and waiting for something. You go to bank or you go to market, and so anywhere you stay in line, and then you have time, and then there you stay with the primary mental object. So if in a family you get disturbed, suddenly you go to sensation, because you cannot observe past sensation or the future sensation. It always happening in the present moment. So your mind going to be in the present moment. When the mind in the present moment, there is no greed, hatred, or the delusion going to happen. So that is the most safest place to stay. And so once you come to that patibhaga, that means that tranquility state, you settle down now. That is not enough. That is the beginning point. Now the game start. So for that, in the Vipassana, there are 4 kind of mental foundations. Buddha mentioned in the Satipatthana Sutta. So once you settle down with your mind, you let go all the categories that you mentioned. Long inhalation, short inhalation, and heavy or soft. This is inhale, this is exhale, this is beginning. You let go that all the details. You just recognize only the sensation. And once it come to that, from there, so that what the Buddha mentioned as 4 foundations, the bodily sensation, observing the body, kaya anupassana, and observing the sensation, vedana anupassana, observing the condition of mind, chitta anupassana, observing the condition of the very nature itself, Dhamma anupassana, like a digestive system, blood circular system, and these muscles, and you are aging. So naturally things happening in our body, a nerve system, this all naturally happening. So you recognizing that. So when it get to sensation, the thing is, when you let go that all the names and the forms, everything, what is happening with the sensation, you able to recognize that all the 4 foundation in that one place. So it is according to your attention, you will get it. So other thing is, today I want to mention, don't try to put too much attention to recognize. Why? Because then your intention go towards the attention, and you not observing. No, your whole intention should be to observe and recognize. Don't use any attention to put the effort. So that way you disconnect and disappoint, and don't try to make anything happen, and that way you get tired, and just allow everything to happen and observe. And when you observe, now no names, no forms, just the sensation, very plain, very clear, with the empty mind, no thoughts. Why? Now you are in tranquility state. In that moment, you see arising, existing, and disappearing. One sensation. And just show it, just see it. And then let go. And then you go to the next experience. Arising, existing, disappearing. Pass it. Then you see again another sensation. Arising, existing, disappearing. Pass it. Now you see how this is happening in anywhere, maybe not even in this place, anywhere in your body. Any sensation arise, exist, disappear. Even thought arise, you can see without reacting to thought, arising, existing, disappearing. Then you pass. You're not going to go with it. And that way, you moment by moment, you move forward. And another thing, you recognizing. In the beginning, you name as inhalation, exhalation. In the depth, there is nothing inhalation, exhalation. That is where you come out of the illusion. That is where you come out of the conventional life. You accept it in the beginning as inhalation, exhalation, but in the depth, there is nothing. Only the change. So that is the journey we're going to go. I can just give guidance like that. Doing part is up to you. So that is why, and we balance both arguments. And there is that some say you have to do yourself. No one can teach. That's also right. Why? Because now it is up to you. And there is another argument. They say you have to teach. So that also right. So I taught you the methods and the pattern, and I hope it is very clear for you. In the middle, there is nothing hide. There is no magic. It is just the clarity of your awareness. So with that, we're going to practice a little bit. So your right palm on your left, and neck get straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. And scan head to toes 3 times yourself. And say Suapat Deva, or may I be well and happy. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge in this moment with this sitting. May my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also think for a moment. This is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime. And detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of inhalation, exhalation. So deeply inhale, exhale 3 times and find the sensation. Locate your awareness. Just get a mental note. Let everything to settle down. And recognize this is inhalation, this is exhalation. So remember, your nimitta is the sensation and your kamatahana is you always come to stay with the sensation, observing it. Don't try to involve in with anything else. Be friendly yourself. Don't be too hard. Don't be too soft. Don't keep a gap in between the observer and the mental object. You are the sensation. Don't go with any thoughts. Stay with the sensation. Bring your maximum effort, fully awareness. Stay with the primary mental object. If you get into the sensation, don't categorize in details. Just observe the change. In case if you have to change the body, change the posture, first get a mental image and slowly do it mindfully. If you want to use the restroom, drink water, do anything, first get a mental image and slowly, mindfully do it. Bring your attention to your body. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire this compound, this village, this city, this state, this country, this world, and as far as we can through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart forward. So visualize yourself and send it as a light to your backside, to your left side, and to your right side, downward and upward. To all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance, or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dhamma friends, when it comes to our day-to-day life, you have to remember this everything just thoughts. There's nothing else. And even in the depth that you recognize that whatever the thought arises, and itself it disappears. So we have a long history. And eons by eons, we come through this samsaric journey accumulating a lot of thoughts. That is called sanskara, mental formations. That all habitual patterns inside us. And not only that, we have our own collection, and also when you come to this human world, that when you have this very existence yourself, you are depending from a lot of things around you. So that's mean, so you have your own mental formations and collections. Also, you have to respond to this other entire universal mental formation collections. So that means your mind is a part of this entire world. The entire world history somehow affect for your life. So today, look that the computer invented somebody else, cell phone invented somebody else, electricity invented somebody else, and this all the food circle that invented different people. Then all the facility, it's invented different people. All the garment industry invented by different people. But just for a 24 hours day, look how many things you need to maintain your life. What is that mean? That's mean you depending from that things. This meaning deeply you depend your consciousness, your awareness, your mind, depending from that things. So in case that things change, it affect for you also. So as example, this millennials, when there is no Wi-Fi, they don't want to go to that place now. In the ancient time, it didn't happen like that way. So today the people is day by day becoming changed. Your children different than you. From where that difference come? That difference come from two ways. One is this worldly behavior, worldly nature. Another one is their own inner mental formations or whatever the thoughts pattern they accumulated. So it happened to us also. When you purify means you have to purify this both ways. You have to purify your own mental formations, and also you have to purify the outside this worldly mental formations. How you can do that? So the one thing is, you have to remember, you have to take the full responsibility to your thoughts. Even though you maintain these outside things, remember you are responsible for that. So you have to first recognize that. Don't try to separate that from you, because you are the world itself you. And then when it comes to your own mental conditions, as example, anger, happiness, joy, sadness, worry, and sometimes you say you have anger, you have jealousy. Sometimes you recognize it's a part of you, and then you blame to outside, thinking it come as a result of the outside. But if you recognize itself, yourself, you are the one who having that quality itself, it will disappear. But if you think you are a separate person, this everything coming from outside and it happening to you, and there is no way you can rescue yourself from it. So as example, the greediness. And when you see some certain things, if you become greedy for that, maybe you think you are okay. You are a person not greedy, but when that whatever the ice cream or the cheesecake or the whatever you like, chocolate or whatever you like, when you see it, if you think that chocolate make you greedy, you are completely wrong. The chocolate or the ice cream or the cheesecake cannot do anything. But you are the one who can put a value on it. So the same way, if you are angry, jealousy, hatred, don't try to bring something or somebody to that and give responsibility. No, you have to recognize and you have to be honest yourself. You are angry person. If you have any jealousy, you have to recognize you are jealousy. That is where it's going to end. By the recognizing itself, you are jealousy, it's going to go away. But come to that recognition, you need certain clarity. Why? Because we have mental formation depending two ways, as I mentioned. One is our own mental formations, another one is this outside worldly conditions. So, but the most important thing is you are the one who experiencing this soul, and you have this all the qualities inside you. That's why you experiencing it. Because if you don't have any greed, hatred, or the jealousy from inside you, it doesn't matter whatever the outside worldly nature, it cannot bring any effect to you. So then remember yourself. Don't condition your mind. Don't separate your experience outside and inside. What you experience itself, it is you. So that's why even when we observe the sensation, so observer and the primary object, sensation. Some schools, some traditions still teaching it come from the ancient times. So the observer is nothing to do with the sensation. So the observer always going to be the subject, always going to be eternal. That is what called soul. And the object or the primary mental object that we get, it's separate from you. It's nothing to do with you. Now, what is in the Buddhism, what the Buddha mentioned, according to Buddha's teaching, and even when we observe ourselves, what we can recognize, this observer itself the result of this primary object. Because when there is no primary object, there is no observer. When there is no observer, there is no primary object. So this both interconnected. So that's why you have to slow down the gap, little by little, little by little, little by little. And then when you experience something, without separating yourself, that experience, if you take that experience as you in that very moment, that experience going to neutral. But always look yourself. When you get angry, When you get sad, worry, unhappy, disappointed, always write down. You can do you don't need too many days. Just take 3 days. Write down. Do experiment. Why? Because once you recognize this, entire samsaric journey going to change. All the hundred books you no need to read anymore. So just look and write down yourself and do experiment, self-experiment. What you have to do, whatever the sad, worry, unhappiness, disappointment, whatever come, look, there is an outside reason. There is an outside reason. You take that outside reason as a primary object and you forget the experiencer. And then it become bigger, 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 bigger. And then maybe you get disappointed with the entire world. And so, then yourself always remember to observe and recognizing without name or form. If you able to experience that, whatever, in that very moment, it's going to go away. Because once you put the name or form, and then it's going to come to something else. So as example, when you look at the tree, so if you don't use the name or the form, then you just see this tree. But once you putting the name or the form, maybe you're not going to recognize the tree. So, but we used to. That's why in conventional life, our mind depending from name and the form. Without name and the form, and we not going to be comfortable. But why the name and form give to us? Just to maintain the conventional life. That's why when you born, that's why you got the name. There is nothing else. And you have no idea who gave this name. Maybe a stranger came that day and your parents were talking about a name, and then he told or she told, oh, put this name. This is good. And then you got that name. It is not by your own choice, mostly. And even this whoever born in Sri Lanka, sometime here in America, sometimes Indian, Sri Lankan, other country people, they go online and the baby's name and they just select one. Maybe they don't know what is the meaning. And the form, look yourself, the form day by day, day by day, day by day, it changes. This all conventional. It is okay to accept it, but don't get version on it. Don't have a version in your mind, even yourself, even regarding others. But in day-to-day life, what is happening? We don't see the process. So always carry the newness inside you moment by moment. We like to see fullness, but we don't see the newness. So as example, when it comes to full moon, every month we see full moon. People so happy. But it is very few people know every month, every 28 days, full moon come, but before that full moon, before 14 days, there is a new moon. When there is new moon, there is no full moon to experience. The same thing in you. It is okay you look for fullness. It is okay you look for completion. But look where the beginning point. And keep the newness. And with that newness, when you go, your mind always becomes fresh and clear. That clarity you need to break down this mental formation we carry from samsara and the worldly formation we collect through in day-to-day life. So we are like a spider and create the web, and we are in the middle. The entire world is in our head. To come out of it, always keep the newness. And you are capable for that. Remember, there are a lot of that the brainwash and the dogmas and teachings and hierarchy and always telling you have to be like this, you have to be like this, like that. You always have to be a follower. You no need to be a follower. You are your own master. Remember that. You are your own creator. And you have a life yourself. You can maintain it. And you have everything within yourself. You are the masterpiece of this universe. Only thing is, just get out of the junk that you carry from your sansaric journey. Be completely new every day. Why? Because every day we collecting. It, with your husband, wife, children, friends, and family members. This is the most dangerous. Why? Because they are giving the memory. You collecting the memory with you. When you look at your husband or wife, how you look. When you look at your child, how you look. When you look at your parents, how you look. When you look at your partner, how you look. You look through your collected memory. Come out of it. Because that memory itself is the samsara. That is where you become unhappy, sad, worry, and so disappointed like that. And but still you think it is other person. No, it is inside you. So then always remember, look for the newness, maintain that newness, and don't get into comparison looking this outside. And that way you can come out of this, all the miseries that we keep rolling inside us. So with that, there's a story. There was a little girl in a close to the ocean in the top of a mountain. And there was a valley, and the other side of the mountain, there was a huge house. And every day that this little girl, see this house with the golden windows shining. When the sun rises, shining. When the sunset, shining. And she had a dream every day. The very first thing she does when she wake up, she was in a little house and it was so dusty, very old, ugly house. And according to her, she was so unhappy. And then she wake up, suddenly what she does, she ran out of the house and looked that far away in the top of the mountain, this golden window house. And she had a dream. One day I want to have like that house. That is the only thing she had. Sometimes she unhappy about parents, and sometimes she claiming about the lack of facilities. Why? Because she always dreaming that golden window house. She can see it far away, other side of the valley. So somehow she little by little became a young girl. And then one day she had the permission to ride bicycle. So she start to get into ride bicycle little by little, little by little. And then one day she decide to go to the other side of the valley and see this golden window house. And with the permission from her parents, early morning, she start to go. And she went somehow through the valley and she went to the other side and get into this place. And when she come closer, she saw it's not like kind of like the house, that golden windows. And it was very old place. and even know people that much. So somehow she came to the place, and then she saw it's a very old, dusty house. And what happening from the the ocean, the dust come with the sand, and then it is stuck in the windows. So when the sun rise, far away it shining. So she thought it's golden windows. And then she got disappointed. And then what she did? She went around, and even no one in that house. She went around, and then from that place, she looked back her house on the downhill other side of the valley. And then she saw the golden windows, that whole house shining. It is just not the window. The whole that house shining. And that day she understood. She living with everything in a golden house. But far away looking, this just the golden window. And then she think, and she wanna go there, and she forget that everything, whatever she had. So that is the conventional life. We have everything, but we don't see it. Maybe somewhere, if we see something little bit shining, and we become so crazy, we become so greedy, and chasing for that, chasing for that. That is the very nature of the conventional life. But when the day comes for you to understand this, and that is the day you're going to recognize that you have everything. And so in that everything, if you develop the contentment and become a happy person, and you will understand out of this all that whatever we have, maybe it come, it's just the dust. But still, in conventional life, we all like to have a happy, comfortable, beautiful life. Nothing wrong. Just have it. But remember, maybe it shine because of the dust. So with that, I bless upon everyone. By the power of the soul, good practice, may all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you, may no difficulties come to you, may no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vivajjantu sabbarogo vinassatu mate bhavattantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Ittavata ca ammi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.